Hi, I'm John and I'm a machine learning engineer working on Requiment. Today we're going to go through the product and some of its key features which allow you to increase the completeness of your requirements for your software project. Before we start, we can define some of the concepts that are used throughout Requiment. The first of these are entities. Entities refer to something that exists and can be identified as a distinct and independent unit within the system. Take a car garage, for example. This could be anything from a mechanic to a client to the actual car itself. The next of these concepts is an entity action. Now, this is an operation which can be performed on an entity, and in that same context, this could be anything from creating, updating, reading, or deleting an entity, such as a user or a client from the system, along with more complex operations like scan. For today's demo, our company will be Custom Jewelers. Custom Jewelers is looking to create a software solution to handle their orders from clients. They create custom jewellery for their customers, from selecting a design, choosing materials to crafting the piece. They require a system to record the specifics of each order, calculate the price, and produce a quote to send to their customer, and generate an order when this quote is accepted. And we're just going to begin by entering some details. So we're going to create a project called Custom Jewelers, just as a dummy example. And we're going to enter a description of this project. Now, this text will be analysed for potential project entities, so we want to make sure that we're including them in here. If we say that the platform is to manage pricing and okay, and we can leave notes blank for now. So we've got basically this description which gives us an idea of what this project Custom Jewelers is designed to do. And from here, we'll hit next, and this will begin by generating using AI some entities based on the description we've provided. Hopefully it'll pull out things which might be useful to us. We're now on the next page after entering our project name and description, and we've been greeted by this modal, which essentially asks us to select entities which have been generated using AI from our project description. If we click this drop down, we can see a wide range of different ones. Now, we can select up to 10 entities that we can create. I think for this, we're going to choose custom jewelry. We're going to choose materials. We want an order, and we'll also choose a quote to create. And then we can simply press create to create the new project and then be greeted by the project screen. Now, as you can see, we have a created project here. This is the edit project page where you can see over the left-hand side, system overview, users, all of our entities, and a number of other different parts of the project that we're able to edit. On this page, you can see the description for the system, ability to add a logo, and also the system quality. So whilst we've already got a description, we could just begin by adding a logo. Now that we've entered the system overview, description, and quality, we can move on to looking at users. Within users, we have authentication type, user types, and login and security. We'll begin by specifying our authentication type, and we'll say that we have login required and there's self-service sign up in the system. We can then specify which self-service sign up options we have, and we'll say that there's email, Google, and user invitation email sign up. Now we've got the option to specify user types. We can specify as many of these as we like, and we can also come back at any later date to add in some new user types. We'll start by adding a row, and we'll say that we want an admin user type. And we can specify that this description is an admin user to create okay. We could also add in another user type. We could call this a designer. And we could say and there we have a designer user type. So that's all we'll add for now. We can now look at the login and security section. And we'll say that forget password functionality is required. And we'll say that if a user, and that's probably all we'll add in for now. Now that we've specified some user types, our authentication type, and also our login and security details, we can move on to looking at one of the most important parts of any system, our entities. Some examples of entities for our system would be our custom jewelry, materials, an order, or a quote. These have been specified using AI taken from our description, and obviously we selected which ones we wanted after. And we've got a small list here. We can go into them in more detail, but we have the ability here to reorder them, delete, and also open up individual entity sections, as you can see here. We now have the ability to edit which entities we have and also edit individual entities. So I'm pretty happy with the entities that the AI has created over on the left-hand side over here. If we were to look just at materials, we can see we can edit the entity name. We maybe don't want to do that right now, but we could say our description would be material from which jewel is created. We could, this doesn't represent a user type, so we won't click that. And then we can see some entity fields that the AI has also created. Now, some of these will be useful, some of them we might not need, so we can go through and decide which ones we want to keep. I think we'll keep material name, material type. We'll probably get rid of material color. Weight, we'll maybe get rid of. Price, supplier, stock, and image. Those are all seem like good ones to me. So we'll probably keep them. We also have the ability to add in a new entity field here. So we could call this material country of origin. And we could say that this is we'll say that's a text string. We'll click save. And if we continue to entity actions, we can see it's already pre-populated the ability to create, read, update, delete, and search materials within the system. Probably all of these are things we would want to do. We can also look to see if we'd like to add a new entity action. So we could say, for example, that we'd like to import some materials to the system. And we'll say that an admin and a designer can do this. We can now move on to looking at our entity relationships. This is where we can specify the relationship between our different entities. We'll begin by just adding a row here, and we'll first of all describe the relationship between materials and custom jewelry. And we'll say that materials have only one, or can have 0 or 1 custom jewelry. Given material can only be in 1 custom jewelry. And we'll save that. We'll then continue to populate the rest of these entity relations. So as you can see, we've added in some entity relations here. This might not be fully extensive for the system, but you can see that there are a number that just give us more of an idea of how the system is and how the entities interact with each other. Now that we have specified some entity relations, we can look at the rest of the system. There are a number of different sections here that we can go through, such as features, which will ask specific questions about the features of the system, user-generated content, messaging and communications, location services, e-commerce, integration, and AI, along with a vast number of other things like usability requirements, security requirements, performance requirements, such as number of users expected in each year and number of transactions expected per day per year, reliability requirements, supportability requirements, legal and regulatory requirements, system requirements, such as system browsers that the application should be able to run on, additional information, and a glossary which allows us to enter terms which may be system specific, for which people reading the requirements document may need to know. One of the other key features of Requiment, now that we can assume that you've went through and filled out all of the other requirements, is the ability to create automatic wireframes. So if we click wireframes up here, we can begin generating these. As you can see, this automatically, very quickly creates a set of wireframes which also are interactive. So we've got a menu here at the side with our 4 different entities that were specified for the system. We've got our logo at the top here, and we can see, for example, a list of materials here, which is probably something we'd want with all the fields that we've got, the ability to search, and also the ability to add materials here. We can also look through at custom jewelry, the ability to add, delete custom jewelry. Our orders, so we can see orders, customer name, customer email, etc. And then also some quotes. So this is really, really easy to just get an idea for how the system might look. It obviously won't be exactly how the system will end up, but it gives a real visual interpretation of how the system will look very quickly. We also have the ability to edit wireframes. If we click this edit button down here, we can change, for example, the quote page, and we can say that we may not want this, but for example, we want a horizontal layout instead. And we could say that instead of having a table list of quotes, we want, say, a condensed card list. And we can also specify which fields we want displayed. So we may not want the rating as favorite and tags displayed. And we can also decide that we might want a title only, no buttons. So if we hit save, we can now see that this is a new type of list. We've got these cards with our individual details with some dummy data inserted, and this is our brand new quote list. Now that we've shown wireframes and also went through our project fully adding requirements in, we can now look at generating tasks. As you can see, we have now got a custom jeweler's task list here in CSV format. Now, basically, this is a wide range of all the tasks that will be required to create the system as we've defined it currently, along with an original estimate in days for each of these tasks. This is in the exact format to be added to Jira, which means we could just upload this directly and it would generate tickets with these descriptions. This saves a large amount of time, and obviously tickets can be edited in the future, but it just gives us a strong base to start off our project on. Now that we've added in all the details of our project, we've shown generating tasks and also wireframes, it's now time to show us generating a requirements document out the back end of all of this.
So if I hit generate document here, this will start generating that Word document for us. And I'll just show one that I prepared earlier with more of these details filled in. And as you can see, we have a full requirements document here with all of our details that we added in. Our system description, system quality, authentication type, everything here, all of our entities. Along with entity relationships, features, and then performance requirements, transactions, reliability requirements, and system requirements. So if we'd filled out a lot more of these details, then we could create 100 pages plus of requirements documents here. But this is just to show an example of what can be quickly created using the system.
Thanks for watching today's demo of Requiment. Feel free to contact us on any of the links displayed on the screen, and I hope you found the demo useful.